Welcome to TRIVI-yeah! I am your host, Dean Felix. This is the podcast where you can learn something new, feel good about the things you already know, and should old acquaintance be forgot and never come to mind, drink a cup of kindness yet, for the sake of auld lang syne. I'm on my third cup already. That is good kindness. Let me just set my cup down. First things first, the answer to last episode's bonus question is Henry Selick. What was that question? Well, all you gotta do to find out is go back to the previous episode. Bonus questions near the end. Feel free to skip ahead if you want. But if you start at the beginning, I can tell you with almost complete certainty that it will eventually get to the bonus question. I've been doing some tests and it has every time so far. Maybe you can hear it in my voice, but I am a little sick. A little congested. Very sorry, apologies. My tones will just not be quite as dulcet as normal. I hear it's been going around. I hear that. But never fear, got a great episode coming your way. I am still committed to trivia excellence. And I have brought it today. Oh yeah. Just finished recording all the questions and I powered through it. Gave it the energy it needed and it deserved. And somehow I got a leg cramp in the middle of it. How did that happen? What is going on? I'm falling apart. The hardest part about this really is staying hydrated. If this is your first episode, then what I just said will make sense once you get to question 9. Also, hello, so good to have you. Thank you for joining us. Let me tell you what you're about to hear. 10 multiple choice questions coming your way as we travel down that rabbit hole of trivia knowledge. What does that mean? Well, it means that each question will lead to the question that follows. It's what we do here at TRIVI-yeah! None of these questions were taken from any old trivia board games, nor were they written by AI. Oh no, they were written and researched by me, coming to you for the low, low price of free. All I ask is maybe if you like the show, then to like the show. Give me one of them follows, subscribe, leave a positive comment, rate 5 stars, share on socials, tell your friends about the show, do all of those wonderful things that help this podcast continue to grow. Or don't. I mean, what can I do about it? I'm cramping up just sitting here. You know what? Let's just start the show, huh? Can we do that, guys? Are you okay with that? Let's do it. It is time to play a little TRIVI-yeah! Right after this. Welcome back to TRIVI-yeah. I'm Dean Felix. I hope everyone had a wonderful Christmas, a happy Hanukkah, a killer Kwanzaa, an adequate Boxing Day, if you celebrate any of those things. Or, hey, just a really good past few days if you don't celebrate anything at all. I received some great Christmas presents. I got a bicycle helmet, so now I have no excuse not to ride my bike. I got socks, and I love them. I'm a big sock head. My mom gave me a hat that is just so ridiculously hideous that I might just wear it. It is the most jingoistic piece of patriotic merchandise I've ever seen. It has so much going on. It has laurels, an eagle, the Liberty Bell, the Statue of Liberty, and it says United States of America in all caps on it. Wow, it is incredible. Bless my mother for thinking that I would like this hat. Because she was right, and just not for the reasons that she thought. Look, I love America, just as a friend. Look, I might wear it. It's the kind of thing that I can wear that will make everyone happy, right? Those who can tell that I'm being ironic, and those who cannot. Perfect gift. I got some other stuff too, some shirts, a game, a Zen garden to help me be more Zen. Could always use a little more Zen in my life. Overall, it was a pretty nice haul. Next on the list is New Year's Eve, and I won't be kissing anyone because I don't want to give them the woke mind virus, okay? I've got it bad. Also, I am so ready to be done with 2025. Oh my gosh, this year needs to end, and I think it will. I had such high hopes for this year. 2025 is the year of the snake, and that is my year. My year. Last year of the snake, I had an incredible year, so I assumed this one would be much the same. What a fool I was! A fool! This year was objectively not incredible. My career died, my dad died, my dog died. Look, I don't want to get into it. All of that is true. I'm not getting into it. Look, it wasn't fun. None of that. I'm okay. Please do not worry about me. I have mourned all 3. It is time to look toward the future. But before we do that, there were also some good things from the past year that happened. It's easy to overlook them, but let's not, all right? For example, this past year, I made, I think, the best music that I've ever made my entire life. If you're interested in hearing any of it, the easiest way to check out my stuff is my personal TikTok page. My name on there is at Sherlock Jolmes. Sherlock, then Joel, Joel, then M-E-S. That's right, Joel is also one of my many names. I've got a bunch of names, a whole glut of names, more than my fair share. So check out at Sherlock Jolmes if you'd like. There's some good stuff on there, in my humble opinion. Also this year, I released an audio drama that I made. You can find that on Spotify under Quality Yarn. It was a ton of work to make. Is it any good? I don't know. I liked it. I liked making it. And of course, I started this podcast, TRIVI-yeah, which is still growing and has a faithful audience of listeners who add so much value to my life. Guys, you've helped me finish this mostly terrible year on a positive note. The vibes are good, as they say. My Zen garden is flourishing. I think we're looking at a pretty good Zen harvest. What will happen in 2026? Who knows? Will this podcast take off? Will I resurrect my career? Will I find a new career? Will my dad rise from the grave? Not likely. He was cremated. So, if he did, the wind would just blow his zombie dust away. Dad, you're back! Oh, nope. There he goes. What about a dog? Will there be a new dog in my life? Look, being a dog owner, it's one of my special skills. I really miss Biscuit so much. She's irreplaceable. That said, I do see myself with another dog in the future. I just need more financial stability first before I make that leap. So some other things will have to work out for that to happen. 2026 is basically a big, blank, unknown. Anything could happen, and I'm ready to accept whatever it brings. I have no expectations, and I've made only one New Year's resolution, all right? And it's the same thing that I wish for all of you, to be best. It's time for question one. Time for question one. Time for question. It's time for question one. Time. Resolution. Re-solution. Another solution. In other words, last year's solution to your problems didn't work, so it's time for a re-solution. Make yours at Planet Fitness. I don't really think that's what resolution means, but I like it, so I resolved not to look up the real definition. New Year's resolutions have been around since calendars. In 2000 BC, every New Year, Babylonians resolved to return borrowed farm equipment and pay their debts. Ancient Romans would make promises to the god Janus, whose name we got the month January from. Not to be confused with the god Drynus, where we got Drynuary. And in the medieval era, at the New Year, knights would reaffirm their commitment to chivalry by reciting what? A. The Peacock Vow. B. The Gentleman's Agreement. C. The Pledge of Valiance. D. The Griffin's Oath. The answer is A. The Peacock Vow. Vows of the Peacock is a massive 8,600-line poem that emphasizes chivalry and valiance as it describes courtly activities held during truces in a battle. The poem finishes in a banquet setting where knights and ladies all take turns swearing on a peacock, thus becoming fine feathered friends. No need for excitement or hullabaloo. It's just question two. Peacocking in humans is mostly associated with males attempting to attract a female via ostentatious clothing and behavior in order to stand out from all the duds. But why does this work? It's a paradox that perplexed Darwin when he studied actual peacocks. See, the long, extravagant train of a peacock's tail is a hindrance in nature. A big, bright tail makes you easy to spot for predators, and makes it hard to fly with all that junk in your trunk. Seats and coach are just too small. So it didn't fit the description of natural selection. This phenomenon was studied further by biologist Amatz Zahavi, who hypothesized in 1975 that peacocking is an exhibition of signals that serve as reliable indicators of genetic fitness. If a peacock can survive with that gigantic tail, well, then he must be physically fit. What is the name that Zahavi gave to his answer to the peacocking paradox? A. Dissonance theory. B. The handicap principle. C. The innateness hypothesis. D. Operant conditioning. The answer is B. The handicap principle. Initially, this idea was controversial, but things changed when the handicap principle started gaining support from game theory models. Here's an example of the handicap principle working with us humans. Employers favor job applicants with costly schools on their resumes. Going to one of these schools doesn't necessarily mean that you're better educated or smarter. I mean, legacies exist, right? However, it does signal to the interviewer that these applicants must be well suited to recover those costs. Additionally, when going to an interview, you can never wear too many feathers. Question 3. When I worked at Universal Studios Hollywood many years ago, we were instructed to never use the term handicap while making announcements. We were taught to say, our guests with disabilities. And I'm curious if that's still the accepted language, or maybe it's evolved to differently abled or something else now. Regardless, to say someone has a handicap is passé. And that's fine with me. Like I mentioned before, I have the woke mind virus. If you miss saying it, well, then golf is the game for you. A golf handicap is calculated to allow golfers of varying skill compete with each other. To calculate yours, you average your best 8 scores from your past 20 games. 20 games? Wow, that's a lot of golf. Then you subtract what par would be on a course, like 72 is an average par. And then the number you get from that is your handicap. There are other factors too, but that's basically it. So if you average 100 strokes and par is 72, your handicap is 28. You can then subtract that number from your next game while your competitors do the same thing with their handicaps. Obviously, the lower the handicap, the better the golfer. There's a name for a golfer with a 0 handicap. What is this very good golfer called? A shark golfer. B, a bogey golfer. C, a scratch golfer. D, a skins golfer. The answer is C, a scratch golfer. The pros don't use handicaps, of course, but if they did, the average PGA Tour professional would have a plus 5.4 handicap. They would actually add, on average, 5.4 to their score, which is actually pretty close to my own golf handicap. Only difference is my number stands for beers consumed per 18 holes.
Why are we here? Where are we going? Who is behind all of this? What should I get for lunch? What is this question for?
'Tis but a scratch, insisted the Black Knight after King Arthur severed his left arm in the comedy film Monty Python and the Holy Grail. The Black Knight fights on and soon loses his right arm as well, but this does not deter him. No, he kicks Arthur in the head. So then King Arthur chops off his right leg. But then the Black Knight headbutts Arthur, and it isn't long before he says goodbye to his remaining appendage. Reduced to nothing but a torso and a head, the Black Knight declares the fight a draw. In frustration, King Arthur rides away as the Black Knight calls him yellow and challenges him to come back so he can bite his legs off. In addition to portraying Lancelot in this film, what member of the Monty Python comedy troupe played the hapless, yet determined, Black Knight? A, John Cleese. B, Terry Gilliam. C, Graham Chapman. D, Eric Idle. The answer is A, John Cleese. The line, "'Tis but a scratch," is probably a reference to Mercutio in Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet, who says, "Aye, a scratch," after being mortally wounded by Tybalt. If only Mercutio had been more like the brave Sir Robin from Monty Python and the Holy Grail and bravely ran away.
Hey, fellas, wait till you hear this. Oh my gosh. Don't say. I can't believe it.
What y'all talking about over there?
Nothing. We were just
Talking about question 5.
Well, shoot.
If you were in England in 1975 or 1979, you could turn the channel to BBC Two to see John Cleese and his sitcom Fawlty Towers. And if you were in the US in the 80s or 90s, you could turn the channel to PBS to see reruns of those 12 episodes, seemingly at all times. Only 12 episodes? I think I've golfed more times than that. John Cleese is originally from a seaside town in Somerset, England called Weston-super-Mare, not to be confused with their rival town, Weston Slightly Less Than Spectacular-Mare. One of the main attractions in Weston-super-Mare is the Grand Pier, described as a pleasure pier. Ooh. These pleasures include a boardwalk, rides, games, restaurants, concerts, and twice, once in 1930, then again in 2008, horrible fires. The Grand Pier has since been rebuilt and is back in action. During some parts of the day, the Grand Pier stands above dry land because the body of water it's situated on has massive tides. This is the second time large tides have come up on TRIVI-yeah! Guess we'll have to swim with them, and if we do, we might just reach Wales, as this body of water separates South Wales from southwest England. What is it? A. The River Thames. B. The Bristol Channel. C. The Oxford Canal. D. Loch Ness. The answer is B. The Bristol Channel. You could also watch Faulty Towers on the Bristol Channel. All you need is a boat and the BBC iPlayer app. Free to use in the UK with a valid TV license. But if you're in the US, a paid subscription to bbc.com is only $8.99 a month, where you can also enjoy so much great content, including the latest episodes of Strictly Come Dancing, Doctor Who, and Series 2 of Daddy Issues starring Amy Lou Wood. This is a deal you do not want to pass up. Sorry, I'm really hoping for some sponsorship deals in 2026, so I thought I'd get a little practice in. Oh, bro! Bro, this is 6, bro! Bro, did you make this? Oh, bro! Bro, this is so 6! Is this your question? Bro, this question is 6! Clairaudient channeling is the psychic ability to hear communications from supernatural sources. Actually hear them, not just thoughts in your head. These could be voices giving messages or guidance from spirits, angels, deceased souls, and yeah, it's probably schizophrenia. But let's suspend our cynical disbelief for a moment and consider that clairaudient channeling is a real thing. According to Gaia.com, clairaudience differs from other psychic abilities, which are also real. So what psychic ability do you have if you have the ability to see images or people or events happening that are not currently around you? Do you have A. clairvoyance, B. clairsentience, C. claircognizance, or D. telepathy? The answer is A. schizophrenia, clairvoyance. Yeah, I'm a skeptic, but part of me wants to believe in this stuff. Back when I was in college, my best friend from home went to another school, and I hadn't seen him for months, not since summer break, so I decided, I'm going to give him a call. This is pre-cell phones, by the way. Yes, I'm old. Bear with me. So when I called him, the line was busy, right? But when I hung up, my phone instantly rang. It was my friend. He had tried to call me at the exact same time that I tried to call him. Which Claire is that, huh?
Maybe you do believe after all.
You think so? I mean, it could have just been a coincidence, right?
Quite the coincidence. I'd say that's pretty strong evidence if you ask me.
Well, I mean, yeah, you're right.
And isn't it good to have an open mind about things?
Yeah, that is true, voice in my head. Thanks. You've always looked out for me.
I only want the best for you. Now take a break and play some video games for a few hours.
Oh, great idea. I think I will. Hi. I've got some great news. You just died and gone to question 7. TRIVI-yeah has 2 favorite subject matters: big tides and French pastries. So let's talk about éclairs. They're basically long, cream-filled donuts. But don't say that to a French person, or they might beat the custard out of you. Éclairs are made with choux dough. Je don't say, I do say. Choux dough is light and airy and puffs up when it's cooked, creating a hollow center, perfect for piping in a variety of different flavored custards, creams, or even fruit fillings if the voices in your head are particularly loud that day. Éclair means flash of lightning, because that's how quickly they're consumed. What is the translation of choux, spelled C-H-O-U-X, from French to English? A. Delicate. B. Cabbages. C. Empty. D. Float. The answer is B. Cabbages. Apparently, when shoe dough puffs up, it looks like small cabbages. And if you make the word singular by removing the X on the end, shoe, pronounced the same way, is often used as a term of endearment. Perhaps you've heard the phrase mon chou, which I think is a really beautiful way to refer to your significant other as my darling little cabbage.
There we go. That's 20 points, plus I used all my tiles. That's another 50 for 70 points.
It's not a word.
Yes, it is.
It's not a word.
It is a word.
I'll look it up.
Okay.
I'm looking it up. I'm looking it up.
All right.
I'll show you. I'll show you.
You'll see.
Oh my gosh. Well, here it is. Look. To ask a lot of questions is to questionate.
I told you.
Cabbage Patch Kids were everywhere in the early 80s. Or so I hear. I mean, I certainly wasn't alive back then. These cute, puffy-cheeked dolls have their own lore. Cabbage Patch Kids are born from special cabbages that have been pollinated with magical crystals from bunny bees, bee-like creatures that fly using their rabbit ears. It's all delightfully insane. Though they are far from the dominant force in the world of dolls that they were back in the 80s, Cabbage Patch Kids are still around today and have quite the history of companies that have owned their rights. Currently, the rights to Cabbage Patch Kids are owned by a company called Wicked Cool Toys. Before them, it was Jack's Pacific. Before them, it was Play Along. Toys R Us owned the rights before them, Mattel before them, Hasbro before them, but the original company who owned the rights to Cabbage Patch Kids from 1982 through 1988 is a company that might be better known for being a rival of Atari, producing video games and consoles. What company was the original licensor who had the vision to turn the Cabbage Patch Kids into a toy phenomenon? A. Nintendo. B. Texas Instruments. C. Coleco. D. Sega. Wait, let me try that again. D. Sega! The answer is C. Coleco. When the ColecoVision was introduced in 1982, it was a hit, despite its weird controllers with number pads resembling phones. More powerful than the Atari 2600, the ColecoVision came bundled with Donkey Kong, and everybody loved Donkey Kong, or so I hear. Then Atari fired back with their 5200 Super system, and it came with Super Breakout, which was, pretty good game, or so I hear. And they also copied Coleco's crazy phone-like controllers for that system. But then the home computer became very popular, and both the Coleco and Atari systems quickly disappeared, allowing Nintendo to fill the video game console void with the NES and its very sane, non-phone-like controllers. While growing up, did I have a ColecoVision? No. Did I have an Atari? Yes, the 2600. A home computer? Also yes, the Commodore 64. Did I have the original Nintendo NES? Oh yeah, of course I did. Yeah, heck yeah. Was I alive back then? No. The hardest part about being a trivia podcast host isn't coming up with the interesting questions. It's staying hydrated. So when I get thirsty, I always reach for a cool, refreshing glass of
Question 9.
A little less than a year before the attacks of 9/11, Al-Qaeda bombed a U.S.-guided missile destroyer named the USS Cole. On October 12th of 2000, the USS Cole was refueling in Aden Harbor when two suicide bombers sailed a small boat to the port side of the destroyer and then detonated a big load of C4 explosives, killing themselves, 17 U.S. Navy sailors, and injuring another 37. Even though sailors on the USS Cole saw this small boat coming toward them, U.S. rules of engagement at the time prohibited them from firing on any approaching vessel without officer permission, and unsurprisingly, these rules were reevaluated after the attack. The ship itself survived the bombing and is still in service today, in case you were worried about the boat. Your question is about where the attack took place. In what country will you find Aden Harbor? A. Kuwait. B. Iran. C. Yemen. D. Sudan. The answer is C. Yemen. In 2007, a federal judge in the U.S. ruled that the Sudanese government was liable for the bombing. In 2012, a default judgment against Sudan was awarded to a group of USS Cole sailors and spouses for $314 million. But in 2019, the Supreme Court vacated the decision and overturned the award because, and I am not making this up, the paperwork was filed inappropriately. Yeah, I'm guessing someone didn't see the memo about putting the new cover sheet on the TPS reports before they go out. Yeah.
You must retrieve the relic, for without it, we are all doomed. It can be found in the Forbidden Temple in the ancient city of Shun-Ten.
So, that would make this, quest Shun-Ten, then, huh? You know what? Forget the relic. Just leave.
I don't want to hear anybody say that the current U.S. administration is filled with nothing but yes men, okay? All right? Some of those positions are held by yes women, you dang chauvinist. But it's not just the government that's infested with people who only agree with authority figures and seemingly lack any original thoughts of their own. Every business and organization is loaded with them. As for myself, I was not born with the yes man gene. Instead, I got the you're fired gene. Lucky me. Throughout television history, there have been a number of brown-nosing, sycophantic characters, notably Eddie Haskell from Leave It to Beaver, which is before my time, if you can believe it. But I don't think any of those characters have been written more sympathetically and with more depth than Mr. Smithers, the executive assistant loyally devoted to his mostly nefarious boss, Mr. Burns, on the long-running cartoon, The Simpsons. Oh, by the way, what is Mr. Smithers' first name? Is it A, Waylon, B, Montgomery, C, Harry, D, Ned? The answer is A, Waylon. Waylon Joseph Smithers Jr. is one of the many Simpsons characters voiced by Harry Shearer. Among others, he also does Principal Skinner, Ned Flanders, Reverend Lovejoy, and the man receiving all of Mr. Smithers' yeses, Charles Montgomery Plantagenet Schicklgruber Burns. Like me, a man of many names. But you can just call him Monty, if, also like me, you have the you're fired gene. My inability to mindlessly agree with my quote-unquote superiors has definitely been a handicap in my professional career. And more than once I've been left in the company parking lot, reduced to nothing but a torso and a head, insisting that 'tis but a scratch. But look, I took the peacock vow, okay? And maybe I suicide-bombed my own career, all right? Maybe I did. But at least I have my valiance. And that's worth, a lot. Look, I'm in a dry spell right now. But maybe it's just a long tide. Tides come back. If I can just channel the right energy, my cabbages will puff up again. I have to believe that. And when they do, I am going to squeeze as much custard in them as I possibly can. Does that metaphor make any sense? I'm not sure. Look, I'm just repeating what the voice in my head tells me.
Bonus, bonus, bonus. Bonus, bonus, bonus. Bonus, 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 bonus question time.
As I mentioned before, 2025 was the year of the snake. Slither on out of here, you dumb snake. You no good, no legs, no arms, having just a torso and a head, and oh, I get it now. Okay. 2026 is coming soon, or it's already here, depending on when you're listening. With it comes a new animal in the Chinese zodiac. 2026 is the year of the what? No multiple choices, no countdown timer. If you don't already know the answer to this question, please feel free to go down your own rabbit hole of trivia knowledge, or you can join me for the next episode where I will have that answer for you at the beginning of the show. Thank you so much for listening and tolerating my stuffy voice. I might have gotten a little crazy in that episode due to this illness. Did it improve it? Did things get better? Maybe it did. If you like the show, then please like the show. Follow, subscribe, rate 5 stars, share on socials, do all those wonderful things that help this podcast continue to grow. If you would like to email the podcast, well, you certainly can. TRIVI-yeah-podcast@gmail.com. We're also on socials under TRIVI-yeah Podcast. Don't post a lot, but following the socials is the best way to know when a new episode drops. Try to get new episodes out every Tuesday morning, bright and early, but you know how it is with circumstances. They do be extenuating sometimes. Not this time, though. We're getting this one up. Heck yeah. Thank you so much for listening. I really hope to see you back here for next episode. Everything you've just heard, including all the music and interludes, was written and produced by me. I am, of course, your host, Dean Felix. Be best, everyone. And remember, TRIVI-yeah is a quality yarn production.